I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us, it's about us, on our victory. And I congratulated her and her family on a very, very hard-fought campaign. I mean, she fought very hard. Hillary has worked very long and very hard over a long period of time, and we owe her a major debt of gratitude for her service to our country. I mean that very sincerely. Now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division, have to get together. To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as one united people. It's time. I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me. For those who have chosen not to support me in the past, of which there were a few people, I'm reaching out to you for your guidance and your help so that we can work together and unify our great country. As I've said from the beginning, ours was not a campaign, but rather an incredible and great movement made up of millions of hardworking men and women who love their country and want a better, brighter future for themselves and for their family. It's a movement comprised of Americans from all races, religions, backgrounds, and beliefs who want and expect our government to serve the people, and serve the people it will. Working together, we will begin the urgent task of rebuilding our nation and renewing the American dream. I've spent my entire life in business looking at the untapped potential in projects and in people all over the world. That is now what I want to do for our country. Tremendous potential. I've gotten to know our country so well. Tremendous potential. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Every single American will have the opportunity to realize his or her fullest.
Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're keeping our focus on the outcome of the U.S. presidential elections. Our correspondents are all in different parts of the states. And Seun Okinbaloye, a political correspondent, is in Washington, and he's given us some updates in terms of what is going on there. Seun, let's continue with the reaction, the feelings, the impression, how they're reacting to this election. Now, preceding this election, while he was campaigning, the president-elect, remember him saying, he spoke about some battleground states. For instance, he said, we're going to win Florida, and we will go ahead and win the White House. That happened. He also did say, we don't believe the polls. And people thought it was joking. But how are they reacting now? Was it something that they had up their sleeves that they're talking about now, that they didn't talk about at the time, and how they won?
Absolutely, Chamberlain. A lot of people will say, what about the polls? What about the predictions? All the polls in the United States were in the negative for Donald Trump. If you look at what has happened, a lot of people, I've said somewhere that the polls, if you look at what happened in the UK, the Brexit poll said something else, the voting said something else, and this is the same pattern that we have seen in the United States elections. The polls are saying something else, and the elections went in a different and an opposite direction. So Donald Trump did a great homework. If you look at some of those critical states that he won, Pennsylvania, Florida with 29 electoral college votes, those are backbreakers. Those are places where he clinched it in this election. So for some of these swing states and some of these battleground states, you will wonder that there are a lot of work that should be done in this state. You will find that Hillary Clinton also went there several times. And even in Wisconsin, we saw a lot of surrogates of Hillary Clinton. Tim Kaine was there. At least I covered that campaign. We saw Chelsea Clinton also. He was in Oshkosh. She was in also in Appleton. She was also